Hello, everyone. My name is Christian. Welcome back to my hobby blog. I'm very excited today because I have my friend Colin with me today to talk about a book that I feel a lot better about on reread, and that is Dune Messiah by Frank Herbert. This is book 2 of the Dune Chronicles or the Dune Saga, however you want to call it. I think Frank Herbert said Chronicles, but anyways, I'm very excited for this. If you have not read book 2, I would not watch this. We may do a non-spoiler section, but for the entire video, we will eventually go into spoilers and also talking about, I guess, sort of our ideas of how it can be adapted. Because as of recording this, I think they're filming the new movie, and they haven't really shown any images. They haven't shown anything, and we've just been hearing castings. It's very exciting castings going on. But without further ado, welcome back, Colin. Thank you so much for joining with me again today. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. Always happy to be here, and yeah, excited to talk about this book. It's very controversial, and they're filming the Dune. I saw like a post come up recently that showed that someone snuck onto the Dune
Oh,
Messiah set, and they have like all these like huge buildings that they're constructing. So it's all like real effects and stuff, which is going to be cool, I guess. But yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it after the way part 2 ended. Yeah, we'll definitely get into that. How are you doing today, Christian?
I'm doing great. I ended up reading this book in like 2 days or something, or like a single day, because I've been with this new job now for a few weeks and I've hit my rhythm with it. And so now I just get to focus on my books when I'm at work, because it's substitute teaching. So I'm not responsible for anything. So I just gotta make sure no one kills each other in the classrooms. So as long I do my role and I'm like, all right guys, don't mess with me. I'm gonna be reading my book. And I read the entirety of Dune Messiah that way, and it was awesome. It made for a much better read because the first time I read it, I read about like I read it in sections or so, and when I got bored, I like jumped off of it really quickly. But I really enjoyed this a lot more. And on top of that, I've been reading a lot of other books, which has been great. I've been writing a lot too, the last like day or
Nice.
so, because I was like, ah, shit, like, because I've just been so busy and stuff with work. Every day I've been at the school, and I finally got to like sit down and finish that chapter I was telling you about that I was reticent and hesitant on writing, and I got it done. It's a mega chapter. It's like 6,000 words. It's
Damn,
crazy. Yeah.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm
like
almost at 50 pages now. So
heck
just
yeah.
from
Oh,
the
that's
two
that's
chapters
huge.
I wrote in the last day.
I
So
remember last time I talked to you, you were considering like going back, like skipping that section and eventually going back to it. That's awesome that you did it. You have it. No, it's like that's a
yeah.
huge box checked right there, and now you can just got to fill the rest of it in. You know where it's
Hmm.
going too. So it's
Yeah.
like that's easy. It's you got this.
Yeah, it's really cool too because I didn't know how to end it. So, because I was kind of like, I want these, major things to happen. And like, I did it and I felt really good about it. And then I was like, but I don't know how to like finish the sequence. Like, I don't know how to get to the next like story beat. And I finally found something that just worked so fucking well. It was like a
Nice.
blend of like Terminator and like Society. And I just not expecting that. It was just woke up this morning because I wrote that mega chapter. It's not at the end of the sequence, but it's like towards the end. And I was like, I want one more thing to happen. And I like woke up this morning and I was like, I know exactly what I need to do. And I wrote it and it was like 5 pages or something really like easy. Just came right out in like an hour. Like,
That's awesome. Yeah, that exploratory aspect of writing. You can I know you do a lot of planning, like you have it in your head already. And
mm-hmm,
sometimes like just that action of like just writing it, you just find like some stuff that surprises you. And that's it's so fun with writing when you
mm-hmm.
surprise yourself with stuff like that. Like, yeah, dude, that's awesome. That's great news. I can't wait to read it, dude. Yeah, as
Yeah,
soon as you get that draft, just throw it my way. I'm super excited.
yeah. And I'm really excited to say actually in uh, relation to that. But I actually went back through and looked at where chapter 5 ended, and I was like, "That's a great spot to end, like as a
Oh,
like
nice.
cliffhanger." So I have it ready to send to you. So,
Oh, well, there we go. That's
so I'm very
what I'm doing
excited
this
to
week.
get your reaction on it. But I just did that like a few minutes ago before hopping on the call. So,
Oh, beautiful. I'm super, super stoked about that. Yeah,
yeah.
send it my way and let's check it out.
Yeah. So one thing I want to start with Dune Messiah is we both have the same copy. It's very tall, 300 pages at
It is.
most. And it actually starts with his son, Brian Herbert, talking about book two
Yeah.
and how it's a bridging novel between book one and three, which I totally forgot about. And it makes
Yeah.
sense now, having read it a
Does
second
it?
time.
Yeah, after reading that introduction by with Brian Herbert, right? He was I, I felt like it conflicted with what I've been hearing from the director of these new Dune movies, Denis
Denis Villeneuve, something like that.
Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And yeah, because he's been saying like I think we might have brought this up in the last Dune video here, but just so people understand kind of like where I'm coming from, it like he's been trying to sell this as like, oh, he wrote the first Dune movie without any idea of, or sorry, he Frank Herbert wrote the first Dune book without any idea of where it was going to go. He didn't have like a plan, and then he did the second one because he felt that people didn't understand the first Dune book, and he wanted people to understand. Oh no, Paul Atreides is a villain, and and based on just this thing from Brian Herbert, that's not true. Like he had a plan going to at least to Children of Dune, which I've yet to read. So it's hearing from you that it's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. That just makes it even more apparent, right? Like I thought that was really, really enlightening though, seeing how like his son's perspective on this, especially since he's like picked up the torch with the series. I know that some people really enjoy his books, but some people really don't. And I've heard that they're a lot more like I don't know, like cookie cutter than the original ones. But I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it because I haven't read it.
Me neither. Yeah, I don't know if I ever will. Like, cause my thing and the main criticism I hear is like a lot of people. So Frank Herbert wrote the 6 books. He had book 6 as book 1 of a new trilogy that he was going to have. So books 7 and 8 were finished by his son, and a lot of people do read those because it's still Frank Herbert's characters, everything with that. But the issue that a lot of people say about his books is that his writing style is completely like it's trying to do what his father did, and it just completely falls flat, and people hate the writing of it and the prose and stuff
That's
like
too
that.
bad.
And it's like the events themselves aren't bad, like because he had the outline, he had it ready to go to write.
Right.
So, and that's the one thing that I love about the Dune series is the writing style of Frank Herbert. It's so evocative, and I love like everything he does within the stories. Like even like books 5 and 6, I
There
rated
was
them
so
much
much,
lower, but I still
so
love
much
the
that's so
writing.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Later on, when we get to the spoiler section, I have like just an excerpt I wanted to read from this at some point
Ooh.
because there are some parts of it that are just so gorgeous. Like it really blew me away. Like just going back to it and looking at it again, even like out of context, is like, wow, this is extremely deep stuff. Like this is much shorter than the original Dune book, and there isn't that like world building. There is like but it's really like efficient. You know, it's but it's not as deep with the world building. You have to have kind of the prior knowledge of the first novel, of course. But like what he does with this is like it feels like almost like biblical in a way. Like there's
Yeah.
some aspect of it that's just like straight up like cuts right to the core of the idea of a messiah. And one thing I want to say is that I've looked at a lot of reviews these past couple of weeks of Dune Messiah, and I feel like so many people get it wrong. I feel like so many people are misinterpreting it, and when they say that Paul's a villain, and I think that he is like a like pure anti-hero, and
Yeah.
like his once we get to a certain section here, because there's one particular section that I feel like people really misinterpret. It's when Paul brings up a couple of like past historical figures, like real world historical figures,
Yeah.
and people think that he's like he's like priding himself on being like them, but he's doing the opposite. You know, he's trying to show that like I don't look how terrible I am. If I can compare like my actions and my effect on the universe in a similar way to these people in history, then I must be awful, right? Mm-hmm. And he's trying to convince another character this. But when we get there, we'll delve more into that. But that I found that to be like just riveting. Like, man.
Yeah, that section in particular was actually one of the big things that I changed my mind on rereading, because that was my reading the first time I read it.
Yeah, I could totally get that.
Yeah, and the second time I read it, I was like, oh my gosh, like I've been treating Paul so harshly, like,
yeah,
because he compares himself to Hitler, to
yeah,
the Mongol leader. I can't remember his name.
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he compares himself to those two figures, and I was like, no one like idolizes them except horrible people, but like
exactly,
he's bringing up like I'm the next like of our time. I am these, you know, this class of like leader.
He's horrified. So. He's horrified. Like he sees it. Like all these people look up to him, and all these people are going to do anything that he says. And even if he like the biggest thing about this is that like even in the first book we understand that like if Paul took himself out of the picture like early on and he died on Arrakis before any of the like Act 3 moments happened, worse things would have happened. More people would have died, and he would have had no control of it. And it's almost like a purposeful kind of like step into the flames when he takes the responsibility of this. He's taking the responsibility of these things, and he's letting it occur in his name as he's alive. He is the leader who has the blame pinned on him, and he's taking that because he's trying to like kind of subvert how awful things are going to be. But that doesn't take away how awful it is, though. This is still Frank Herbert explaining like absolute power is bad, and that even if you have the perfect leader, because we saw like Paul, how he was brought up in like best possible households. He's got like Duke Leto Atreides and Lady Jessica, like they were really great mentors. He has all of the perfect information, and the reader respects him. The reader is just as ready to follow him as any other Fremen, right? And but he's still like doomed by just being in the position that he's in, and it's such a tragedy. It's like the most brilliant tragedy I've ever read, and I'm still like, I don't know if I like it more than the first Dune book. Like I love the first Dune book. I mean, it's huge. It does a lot, but the second one, it's like, it's just so efficient, so gorgeous, and the fact that it's so controversial makes me like it even more. Like I'm such a contrarian sometimes, but I mean, it's so fun. Like I really, really enjoy this book, and I love like being in the minority of like liking it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really funny too, because like I did not like this book the first time I read it, because I was very upset that we took a 12-year time skip and saw none of it. And I was like, really? Like, we have all these years? Like, because book 1 is like a few weeks. Like, it's a short amount of time and so much happens. And in book 2, it's like, pfft, like we start off with like a interview talking about the 12 years. And I was like, really?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And like I really love sort of that Frank Herbert recognized like what a lot of readers were thinking, because he doesn't seem like the type of guy to really want to. So I have a cat like screeching at me through my door.
Hey, that's okay. This is the internet. Cats give us more views.
Okay. I'll let him in. But like it was really funny because I'd read about how, you know, Frank Herbert was pretty like combative with his fans and stuff, and always sort of having to be like, no, this is what this means, this is what that means, like
I love that,
and all this stuff. And I was like, I really respect him for sort of sticking to his guns and not just making Dune Part 2 or whatever of like just another Dune Book 1. Like, he totally went a totally different direction. It's a lot more insular, which I love. Like, I love really, like, having such a small cast of characters compared to book one, where we have dozens of people sort of contributing to the storyline. There's a lot of different planets that we're flying back and forth from. And the biggest thing that happens in this book, I won't say it right now, but one of the biggest events is off screen and we don't see it. And I'm excited to talk more about that because it's still one of my biggest criticisms is that we don't really
Right.
see it. But we'll get into that in the spoiler section. But I just really enjoyed this book and how tightly scoped it was. And I'm really happy that he didn't go into like just a repeat of book one. So, and it's
Yeah.
also fascinating seeing how the cultures have evolved since book one because the Fremen are very different compared to
Right.
what they are in book one, which is great. I love it.
Yeah, they're changing. They're changing. And
Hmm.
and one thing I want to say about the how you're talking about how like it has that 12-year time skip and that's very frustrating is it made me think of every video we do I'm going to find some way to bring up the Star Wars prequel trilogy, but it reminded me of like Star Wars episode 2 and Star Wars episode 3 where you completely skip the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Like eventually we come back to that. Like nowadays, you got the old TV show and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
but like at the time it was like, oh yeah, that huge Star War that it was going to happen in Star Wars. Oh yeah, we just kind of glossed over that, and here's the beginning of it, and here's the very end of it.
Hmm.
And once again, you can see like how George Lucas took inspiration. There's another huge thing that he took inspiration from with this at the very end of this novel. That we'll eventually get to. Are we kind of doing spoilers with this? I don't even know. Like, it's
Are
tough
there
to
any
talk.
last like non-spoiler thoughts you have?
I don't know. Um, once again, I have no idea how they're going to do the adaptation of this.
Yeah.
I even if it winds up being a 10 out of 10 movie, I still don't see how it can do this book justice.
Hmm.
Like, it's unfortunate, but I don't know. Maybe they'll figure something out that I'm not aware of, but
Yeah.
maybe we can talk in more detail about that later, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, well, on that note, for anyone who hasn't read book two, this is now the time to leave because this is going to be full
Get out of
spoilers.
here. Get.
Get on out of here. But yeah, I'm really excited to talk spoilers. There's so much in this book. Like right off the bat, we get an interrogation of one of the Fremen, I believe, who sort of witnessed like all these events in the last 12 years. Because Paul, I thought he initiated a holy war jihad, but it ends up that all his followers just went on and did it himself, and he was like, "Yeah, I accidentally made like hundreds of religions extinct now, and like all these people are just tools of my empire, and like I didn't mean for this to happen. I'm sorry, but this is why I'm basically Genghis Khan and Hitler now." And
Yeah.
like that was like right in the beginning of the book, like we get all of that, so
Yeah,
it was
it's
really interesting. Like what was
that.
your reaction seeing an
Yeah,
interview being the opener of the book?
it's funny. Like when I first started reading this, I chose to do like an audio book, and so I picked up on that, and then I was listening to the interview, and like halfway through the interview, I was like, I can't do this. That this is ruining it. I'm missing something huge here because
Hmm.
it was like such this like shift, like this sudden shift. And I was like, okay, I'm lost. So I picked up the book and reread that part, and still, even then, it's like, yeah, Frank Herbert really sets the tone. He's like immediately, he's like, oh yeah, you like Paul? Well, you ain't gonna like him so much now.
Yeah, that was definitely the feeling I got reading that for the first time. I was so like taken off guard because I mean I have eyes. I see how thin this book is compared to book one,
Yeah,
and so I was like, what are we like going into? We're just having interviews. Is this going to be
right.
like a World War Z type of book where it's all like interviews and letters? Like that'd be cool. Like getting a Frank Herbert like epistolary type of storyline
Yeah,
like Dracula and all those. But then like after that we get a lot of like Paul, Chani, and Princess Irulan or Queen Irulan now. And it's immediately like everyone's butting heads
yeah,
in regards to their responsibilities and keeping up the system and supporting Paul, and we have these new characters that come in, which I love. Like I love all these characters, but like it was really fascinating to get all the Chani scenes, because I completely forgot that Chani, by the end of the book, it's full spoilers, she dies at the end of the book, and I completely forgot about that.
Really?
Like,
So you still got that shock value, even though
mhm.
you're on the second. That's awesome. That's like the
Yeah.
best possible
Because
scenario.
I mean, I this is a issue I have, is I feel like the ending goes too fast at times, like because it's just like bam,
Yeah,
bam, bam, like
it's
all these
quick.
different. Yeah.
It's quick, but I think part of that is because like so much of it has already. It's like all. It's just tying all the loose ends. Like it's
Hmm.
quickly tying. Like every single word is doing some job where it's like tying some loose end. And I, once again, it's so efficient to where it's like it really is like just blinding. I had to go back and like page and I'd like reread that page because I was
Hmm.
like, whoa, wait, what? That just happened, right? Oh my god. Oh, she's dead. What?
Hmm. Yeah.
um, like, so at the beginning of the book though, after the interview thing, you have the conspiracy, right? You
Hmm.
have the so you have what is it? Cytail,
Yep.
who's part of the what's his group called again?
He's
The
part of the face changes, isn't he?
the face, yeah, the face changers, but they
Yeah.
have like a planet or like a race or whatever they're called. It's like you have the Bene Gesserits and they have the not like oxalotl, but it's something like it has an
Yeah.
X in there
It's like a
somewhere.
fish speaker. I think they
Yeah,
call them. That's like the nickname, is the fish speakers or something, because they
right.
just float around in the
Yeah,
goo.
and Edric. We
Oh,
have Edric there. The Edric is the guild
yeah, the Spacing
navigator, right?
Guild. Yeah.
So you have the Spacing Guild, you have the Bene Gesserits with Mother Mohayim, and you got Princess Irulan there,
Hmm.
and you have but Cytail, I can't remember what his group is called for the life of me. Telaxu,
Oh,
Telaxu,
yeah, Taylor Loxu or something. Yeah.
Telaxu. He
Yeah, they are cool as hell. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's brand new character, but immediately you're like, oh, this guy's dangerous. Um,
Hmm.
but apparently, so Paul has the prescience. He can know everything's going to happen before it's going to happen. And so, how do you take someone out who like can call your every move? And so
Hmm.
they're using Edric, who is like who also has like a prescience. And it turns out that like if you have prescience and you have another person who has prescience, they sort of cancel each other out. Where like you can't really call what they're going to do because the other guy's simultaneously doing the same thing, and so you're
Hmm.
both kind of bending the future in a certain way,
Yeah.
and so they're able to kind of conspire as long as they're in this dude's presence.
Hmm.
So
It's
so
sort
you
of
get
like
like
a ATM and Mistborn.
yes, that is a great. Oh yes, it's adium. It's yeah.
Yeah. The OG
Yeah.
ATM.
Oh yeah, the overpowered version of it, right?
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
first first trilogy, first era. Um, then what was it? So yeah, they like lay out their conspiracy immediately, where you
Hmm.
they tell you exactly what's going to happen. They're like this is what we're gonna do. And and I think even in that chapter, Princess Irulan says like, oh yeah, I've been feeding Chani what's it called? Like making sure that she can't get pregnant.
Hmm.
Um, like uh, I've been like sneaking her these drugs to make sure that she'll never conceive,
Hmm.
because she's like pissed off that Paul won't have a kid with her,
Hmm.
and we don't find out this until the very end. But she's actually legitimately in love with Paul, and
Yeah.
it's not just like oh you pushed your way into this empire and you're using me and stuff like that, but she's like
Hmm.
actually fallen in love with him, which like just is another whole layer to this tragedy where
Hmm.
it's like just no one wins
Yeah.
and uh, it hurts, like it really hurts.
Yeah. And I feel especially bad because, and this is something that really made me mad about the intro by Brian Herbert, is that they spoil the reintroduction of the Gola, or Duncan, Idaho. And
Yes,
I loved,
it did
love,
spoil
love
that for me.
the Gola in this book. Like, and as I've told you before, like, this is something that comes back like again and again, and it just gets better. I feel like the Gola, like, I just love Duncan, Idaho.
I do too. I
Like,
thought that was amazing. I do have a question here for
yeah.
you. and feel free not to answer if you feel like this ruins anything, but
Hmm.
Gurney Halleck, he was not in this book to my knowledge. Is that something that ever has any sort of implication later on, or does he ever come back?
I
He's just
think
gone.
so, but I can't remember
Okay.
like specific events. I do recall that he does come back eventually. Yeah.
Okay. I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, because I think it's because Lady Jessica like is not in this book at all, and that's something
No,
I looked out for this time because I was like, I can't remember if she was in this book or not,
they
and
at
she's
least like
not.
referenced her.
Yeah,
They
because
said
she's
like, oh,
on
she's on
Paladin
Cal.
now, if I recall.
Yep.
So she went back home. She was like, I'm done with this spice.
Done with this desert bull crap. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah. And that's something I am really looking forward to with the movies because I'm really excited to see sort of like the visual changes of each of these planets in the last 12 years.
Hmm.
Because we get a lot more
Yeah.
Kaladin like later, like from book 3 on, which I
Ooh,
love.
really?
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm really excited. And I'm because Denis has already said like he doesn't consider book 3 and on like part of the series. He doesn't care like all
That's so
this.
dumb.
Yeah, I hate it
So dumb.
personally. I want someone to do up to book 4. Like that's all I'm asking. Like, but he's
Yeah.
already changed so much, like just in part 2, like with Alia
Gonna have
and
to wait
all that.
another couple decades here.
Hmm.
That's crazy. That's crazy how like what a fumble. Like the first
Yeah.
movie was so good, and
Hmm.
they had some mistakes like in retrospect, but I mean it was really good, and
It was a
they could
good
have fixed it.
it was a good transition from book to movie, like 1960s book to 2020 whatever movie.
Yeah.
Like he kept all the great things like about it, and then book movie 2, he was kind of like I want to do my own thing, which is always like a downfall of every single adaptation, is when they I don't think he thinks he can do better than Frank. I think he just was not interested in what Frank is doing, which I love like Frank's works. So I'm very like book 3 is pretty
Yeah.
controversial, but I rated book 3 even higher than book 2. So I'm very excited to
Wow.
see like what your reaction is to book 3 because Children of
I'll have to
Dune
get to that
is
sooner
as
than.
long as the original, and it's not epic, but it's like a blending of book 1 and 2, which is great. So
Yeah. So okay, we have the conspiracy going on,
mhm.
right? So they have this plan, and the Gola is a part of the plan. Is they want to like give this gift, give Duncan back to Paul to try and like make him, I don't know, like more emotional, or throw him off a little bit to where he's not on his A game.
Yeah.
And it's not really Duncan. It's his name is Hate, which is like, oh, that's not subtle at all.
Yeah.
My name's Hate. How you doing?
Yeah. It's one of the shards, kind of sounds like.
It does.
My name is Hey, I'm Odium. I'm Ruin.
My name's Odium. I'm a good guy.
Yeah. But it's really
Yeah,
funny
seriously.
too with Duncan Idaho because the entire book he's having like this identity crisis. Like, am I
Yeah.
really Duncan or am I Hate? And we have all these different characters saying, no, you're Hate. No, you're Duncan. And like all this stuff. And Paul is, just kind of like, yeah, you remind me of him, I guess. But like, I'm trying to keep you guys separate. And then by the end
Yeah.
of the book, he accepts the new identity of Duncan.
Yeah. And then pretty early on too, he like, maybe at first he's a little bit like weary about it, but then he like asks him like, do you want me to call you Hate? Do you want me to call you Duncan? And then he's like, well, what do you want to call me? And it's like kind of this back and
Yeah.
forth, kind of like, it's like kind of this like humorous, like, I know you are, but what am I, kind of a
Yeah.
thing. There's a lot of humor in this book too that I was
Hmm.
not expecting, and I was there for it, and it was pretty interesting how quickly Paul was like, no, your name's Duncan, you're Duncan,
Hmm.
by the way. And especially so okay, yeah, before we get to the eyes burnt out part, I feel like we should cover more stuff, but
Oh, yeah.
God, what happens after the whole
So we get some
conspiracy
really
thing?
cool scenes of the Fremen, like Aldo, and like his
Hmm.
grandkid, where we have Saitel kill the Aldo. and
Right.
sort of become him in order to infiltrate the Fremen, because the grandson is
Yeah.
blind and does not know, and so is his daughter, I believe. She's also blind or doesn't know that like Seitel has taken over this Fremen like elder. I forget the name of this character.
Yeah, I forget his name, but I remember that it was like a pretty long passage. Like it
Mm-hmm.
took up a good chunk of the good little percent there, and he was like that elder was talking all about how like he was one of like Paul's right hand men. He was like fighting for Muad'Dib since the beginning, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like one of these like just nameless Fremen who's been there since the first book. We just don't notice him,
Mm-hmm.
and he was part of the jihad. He went out into space and was like burning, raping, and pillaging, and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff, right? And then he's on this planet that has a massive ocean, and he's talking about how like there's like dead bodies everywhere and stuff, a bunch of them floating there. And then he like walks out into the ocean and has this like sort of like almost awakening, this like almost religious experience where he's like, "Oh my god, the universe is bigger than Arrakis." And he realizes how like incorrect he was with all of his actions, and he feels like this tremendous guilt.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he blames Paul for it, but he feels like the best course of action is to sort of like uh conspire. Like there's not just like the Slaylaxu Bene Gesserit conspiracy going on. There's also the Fremen conspiracy going on. There are people
Mm-hmm.
who dislike Paul um, because for a couple of reasons. One, they like all of the loss they've been dealing with. Not only have they gone out and killed billions of people, but like a bunch of them have died too, and just like the bloodshed in general has like affected people. And then there's the other whole aspect of like they feel that Paul is like changing who the Fremen are. Like you're talking about how
Mm-hmm.
the Fremen are changing, and that is something that a lot of people blame Paul for, like what's happening to their lineage, what's happening to their culture. It's being like diluted, uh, and that's what I remember. There was like the musician son who's blind, right? And then he has like this girlfriend or wife or something who like, oh, there's a good time to bring it up. Blind Fremen are supposed to go out in the desert, walk
Mm-hmm.
away, and
Yeah.
this guy doesn't do that. Instead, uh, he's using some sort of technology or whatever to control this woman to make her think things are different. She doesn't know that he's blind or something like that.
Yeah.
Can't remember the specifics, but
Yeah.
they're like
He
keeping her
like
around.
rewrites her memories or something
Hmm.
because she
Yeah,
thinks they're like or husband and wife. Yeah, I think she thinks that the husband and wife, but he knows they're not. But they have this kid sort of as like a decoy, but he's blind. So he's like, so they're like, yeah, we're taking care of him. Like the Fremen are changing. Like it's fine. I think that's how it goes. There's like a lot of
yeah,
like back and forth going on in this book, but I really like
yeah.
that moment when he goes into the ocean, because there's a line by Frank where he says it's kind of like a evolutionary like memory that he experiences, where he remembers like one of the human like I guess joys is to be swimming, and this is
Hmm.
like the first like human in a very long time who like has gone into the water that's from the Fremen culture, because no one
Right.
has even seen water, let alone swam in the ocean. And so we have like this really great sort of like thing going on with Frank, where he's like, yeah, for the first time in millennia or however many long thousands of years, like the Fremen culture has interacted with water for the first time in such a deeply emotional context.
Yeah.
Because it is during a big sort of like genocide or something that this
Right.
happens, and he talks about how he drinks the water because he didn't know that like you could get sick from it,
Right.
like, and so he drinks it and he spends like a week sick, like just almost dead. And he says like, yeah, despite that, like it was still probably the biggest moment in my life going into that water. So I just love that section.
Yeah, yeah, that's I forgot about that. That's gorgeous. The fact that he like drinks the water because that's what you'd expect that character to do that after having that background, right? I
Hmm.
mean, seeing all of a sudden this thing that they'd prized where when anyone dies, they take the dead person's water because it's that precious. Now
Yeah.
it's like this abundance where like you couldn't hope to use all of it. There's no way you could. And yeah, it's crazy. It really is. And so that guy, it's funny, they do all this huge backstory on him, and then Sidetail's like, you're
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah, that's it. It'd be like I think that's one thing that Denis should do is expand that character's role in the movies. Maybe even have
Yeah,
him in part two. I don't know,
that's a good
but
idea. Yeah, that's a
like
good
just
change.
have him be more involved so we have because maybe Stilgar would be that character in the movie. I don't know because Stilgar
Yeah.
he's just kind of being the guardian of
Oh,
like
for
the
sure.
forces in this book. And I would love to see. I mean, I think that'd be a very natural change for Denis to do. Is instead of introducing this new character, just have Stilgar be this character who has this
Right.
backstory.
And uh, yeah, and Scytale, he kills the son too, right? The blind after
I
that.
believe so. Yeah.
Like he's just like like you're slowly like kind of realizing like, oh yeah, this guy is not likable. I don't like
Mm-hmm.
Scytale. He's just straight up just murdering people. He's like very much a villain. And like once more, like yeah, the whole idea of Paul as a villain, like compare him to Scytale, compare him to the oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm blanking on this. What are the bad guys in the first book? Their
Oh,
whole
the
planet.
Harkonnens.
The Harkonnens. Yeah, like what do you think the Harkonnens would do better? You think them as like an emperor, there wouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
billions of deaths? Oh man, that's they'd do like a double jihad, you know? Like
Yeah.
it would have been so much worse. And
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, it's definitely like I mean it's terrible what happens and he feels awful about it, but at least he feels awful about it. That's I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he makes some mistakes here. He's not a perfect character. He's got serious flaws, and we'll go into some more of those. Like Aaliyah, like throughout all this, Aaliyah is she is like just as much like deified as Paul, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
she's seen as like this religious figure of sorts, and people like worship her. People come from all over the galaxy to come and see her and ask her like these questions, like while they're like drinking the water of life, I think is what it
Mm-hmm.
is. They're they're like, hey, should I buy this thing or would this be a good investment? And she like yells at him like that's a stupid question or something like that.
Yeah.
I love that whole section like where she's just like all pissed off like answering all these people like in the most like I don't know like it's clever but also like super like insulting
Mm-hmm.
like how dare you kind of a thing.
Yeah. What else? This is yeah, still a guy. I mean, that's a character that is not as active in this book as he was in the last book, but he is
Right.
still sort of helping Paul to sort of like understand the Fremen more because they recognize that there's this friction going on within the Fremen, and that's I think Paul makes a mention that he sends people off like planets if he's starting to notice that like they do not agree with his like rule or decisions or whatever. Like he
Mm,
sends them off world. If I think I read that. Maybe I'm
that makes
crazy,
sense.
but
No, it's a lot that happens here. I
yeah.
yeah, that's coming back. Yep.
Yeah, and like this whole concept of how like Fremen who become blind are sent out to the desert, like
Yep.
that was like that makes complete sense because like to the Fremen that's a waste of water having to take care
Yeah.
of these blind people, and at the end of the story we have the culmination of the conspiracy where we have someone releasing like a nuke or like a mini nuke down onto the siege
Yeah. It's like a
and
stone burner, I think is
yeah,
what they call
stone
it, right?
burner, yeah, and it's sort of like a mini nuke, and they send it and they
Yeah.
kill like tons of different people, a few people, all the eyes get burned out like instantly, and Paul is so powerful in the prescience at this point that it doesn't matter. He can just see it
Yeah.
anyways because it's kind of just a memory, and his head is like the future. It's really weird, but it's really cool as well because he becomes totally different. He's like, wow,
Yeah,
like I'm gonna go off to the desert now.
yeah,
Like I'm
and
done.
that whole scene was so transformative. Another thing that they're not going to be able to do in the adaptation, to be honest, like
Hmm.
it's all going to be aesthetic for that. But like the whole thing with how, yes, he loses his eyes, but he can still see, and
Hmm.
so he's like he's an acceptance to this rule because he knows like the down to the so as long as he stays on this path that he's been
Hmm.
trying to avoid, he knows that Shawnee has been fed these I can never remember the word, but whatever it is to make sure that she can't conceive, she can't get pregnant.
Hmm.
He knows about that because he knows that as soon as Chani gives birth, she'll die. So he's been purposely putting this aside in like a pretty selfish way, and
Hmm.
like he knows that this is the path he has to go on. But finally, when his eyes burnt out, like that's kind of the moment like he accepts it, or at least he like begrudgingly like decides like, okay, I'll walk this path, and so he does without like diverting at all. So like he knows what's going to happen as long as he just keeps doing like he like reads kind of like line by line, like he knows exactly what's going to happen next, and so he does it. And he's just
Hmm.
kind of following these like footsteps in the sand that have already been made, kind of. And he so he can essentially see. But as soon as he diverts from that, as soon as that path diverts, he won't be able to see anymore. He'll be completely blind, and that's why like towards like the very end here, when all these decisions are made and Chani finally dies, and he he has two kids. So he saw his daughter being born, but he didn't expect there to be twins. Which once again,
Hmm.
George Lucas, right there, we got.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that because like before Chani dies, like they take her off the drugs or whatever to stop
Yeah,
conception, and she immediately gets pregnant, and it's like a 2 day pregnancy, and the kids are born. It's so weird. Like,
they kind of they do some time skips here. Like there's sneaky
oh,
time
is there?
skips. I
I didn't
was
even notice that.
right. I had to. That's one of
Yeah.
those times where I had to go back and like reread some pages because I was like, wait, what? What just happened here? And so there's been like some growth here. There's like an entire there's like a 9 month gap here at some
Wow.
point or
Okay.
another.
I thought it was
Yeah,
like magic birth here.
seriously, yeah, no, it seems that way. But apparently the whole thing, like, it was because she'd been given the those drugs for so long from Princess Irulan, it like weakened her, and so
Hmm.
that's why she dies giving birth. And so it's like this messed up thing where maybe if Paul didn't put it off for so long, things would have worked out, but apparently not because that's what he saw. But like in that same scene, we have the Gola thing. We have Duncan Idaho coming to terms with like he's been fighting this like oh, I guess we got to talk about the dwarf guy.
Oh yeah, totally
What's
forgot
his,
about
what was his name? Shit, I got it here somewhere. He's got a weird name. Okay, maybe I don't have it listed here. That's okay. Well, anyway, there's a dwarf in this book, and
it. He's a
he
cool character, I'll say.
he is. Oh yeah, he's an awesome character. He's terrifying.
Hmm.
He's like another Tleilaxu creation who is like in the same like room that Duncan was in. Like they were in like different vats or whatever, and
Hmm.
he and he's like come there to do like Duncan slash hate is pretty much like a sleeper cell or whatever it's called, like sleeper agent, where like he's told like a phrase and all of a sudden he's like being programmed.
Hmm.
And this dwarf pretty much tells Duncan like, oh yeah, when you hear the words "she is gone," then you take out your dagger and then you stab Paul Atreides, and that happens, and like Paul mutters that when Chani dies, and he's like, she's gone, and from the way he says it, you kind of know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen here.
Hmm.
He's like Paul understands that like when he says this, it's like it's going to trigger Duncan, and then Duncan, like being the badass that he is, uh, like the Tleilaxu didn't expect this to happen, but they're like it's still a win for them because they've been trying to make this happen because the Golas apparently they bring back dead people, but they're not really the same person. Their biology, like physically, but who they are, like identity wise, they can't like bring them back. But but Duncan, in his like resistance to do this, like his fight against this programming, that like something snaps and suddenly like Duncan comes back. He's not hate anymore. Duncan comes back, and so he's permanently himself. He's the first person in all of human history to like actually like revive from death, like to come back from the dead. He's zombie Duncan now, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, like it's so cool. And he like throws the knife, I think, at Seitel or someone, and like hits him in the eye, and everyone's like, "Ooh!" Like
in the eye. Like,
yeah. Or maybe it was Paul who did that. I think it was Paul who threw the knife, wasn't it? Because he was blind, and that's why everyone was like shocked. Yeah.
Yeah, and then oh right. No, the whole thing was like so Paul, he has 2 kids, and the kids like do like the new Leto 2, or do you call them 3? I don't know, because they had 2 that died earlier. So the so he's like, he can't see anymore. He's blind now because like he's gone off the path. Things have changed. He has 2 kids instead of 1, but he sees like through his son's eyes, because his son has prescience, just like Aaliyah had apparently, but like from both sides of the family. So like she can see all the generational memories from the male and female side, and so he like using the vantage point of his son, like knows where to throw the dagger, which is like so cool. like that's another thing they're not going to be able to do that in the movie, but it was so cool.
That'd be too weird for like a visual. Yeah, I really love that moment, and I doubt they'll do that on the movie. Like, that's gonna be too weird, unless they do like some crazy shit. Was like, it goes into. Have you seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I've seen a little bit of it. I've seen something I've wanted to watch forever. Like, I know it's like legendary, but I've seen like I saw like the mushroom episode, and then like a couple other ones, like some really random ones.
Yeah, because it's really funny, because this is something that I think about all the time when I'm reading Paul, is how because we have a character named Toph who is an earthbender who's blind, and she has an awesome power where like when she like stomps on the ground, she sees all the ripples like and kind of sees everything around her, and that's how she's able to like be a badass. And that's how I imagine the prescience that Paul uses. And I would love to kind of see like maybe an animated adaptation of these.
That was so anime. Yeah, that dagger throw was so anime. Like you could hear like him like reciting it to himself. He's like I can't see. How am I going to throw this? I can see through my son's eyes. If I'm looking it from this angle, then I should be able to. And then like just like over describe it, and then just like.
Yeah, I can just imagine like the anime like visuals where it's like on Paul zooms on his eyes, and it comes out, goes to his son's eyes, and he sees the knife, and it's like a sort of like a Wanted movie type of thing, was like slow-mo and it's like throws the knife. Like, unless they did that, like I don't think they're doing it in the movie.
I don't think so. No,
but I would love to see like an anime adaptation. Like, do that shit. Why not?
Oh, hell yes, that's what we need. That's Dune is an anime.
Yep.
that's the problem. That's the problem we've been having here.
I would love to see Frank Herbert like nowadays. Like, ask him like, would you like an anime adaptation? Because anime didn't even exist back then. I don't think like to that level what we're talking about.
no. I mean, like it would be like I think it would be like is almost. I don't want to say like Death Note almost, or I don't know why that comes to mind. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it would make a good anime though. Like legitimately, damn.
Yeah,
that's a great idea.
Yeah, but like that was a really fun moment, because like Leto, his son Leto, not his father Leto, his son Leto, like I love book 3 a lot, and it's called Children of Dune, so it's focused around the children of Paul Muad'Dib. And oh my god, like Leto, he is such a fascinating character. I love him. I love Ganima, who is the daughter. She's really cool. I think her name is something very specific in like the Fremen language. I can't remember exactly. But it's like Promised Child or something like that.
Yeah, they I remember I think it was someone said like, "Oh, don't no, you don't want to name her that." Like it was like
Yeah.
a bad omen or something. And then Paul's like, "No, it's a good omen." And I can't remember
Hmm.
what the omen was, but I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Whoops. Yeah, I
That's
did
fine.
not do enough notes here.
Yeah, I don't do any notes. This is off the top of my head, which is bad. I should do notes, but I mean, whatever.
I'm gonna pull up mine right now because okay, that guy's name was Bajaz, little dwarf
Oh
guy,
yeah, but jazz, yeah,
and he uses his Bajaz hands to
yeah,
manipulate Duncan.
yeah.
um, so we get another scene with him too, where like it's like the whole thing, like Sidetail was trying to convince Paul, like hey, don't kill me or anything. Slow down here for a second.
Hmm.
How about we make a deal? So Chani just died, and the whole Gola thing, you see that's working out nice, right? So what if we took Chani, her corpse is still warm. He says that
Yeah.
a couple of ways. Pretty like weird stuff, right? He's like,
Hmm.
your corpse is still warm, still got water in it. Let's if you let me just nab that, take that back home, we'll make her brand new here for you. You'll
We
have
won't
like
do
a
any changes.
wink wink.
Wink, wink.
we won't
Yeah.
we won't have her assassinate you or whatever. And
Hmm.
then because he knows like, oh god, no, there are too many, like he really wants to do this, he really wants to be able to do that, but he already knows, he's already like seen this future a million times, and he's like, you're gonna betray me, sorry, dagger in the eye. And
Hmm.
so it was a really cool sequence, and really once again shows like that level of like self-sacrifice where yes, he's responsible for billions and billions of deaths, but like if there's going to be anyone who's responsible for billions and billions of deaths, it might as well be this guy.
Hmm.
Uh, and then Bajaz like shows up after this to like give Paul a second chance, where he's like, hey, I know you killed Sidetail after we asked you this, but are you sure?
Yeah.
and,
They
and then
really want this.
he's like, hey, Duncan, kill this guy. And then Duncan, he like strangles him or something, or like he does something like pretty mean. Like I can't remember
Hmm.
what it is, but yeah. So like Duncan kind of gets his revenge on after being manipulated and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, and there's like humor to it too. It was like all seeing all this, like their machinations like being unfolded like this,
Hmm.
was just like even though it's like the darkest point of like the whole series, it's like there's like like you can't help but crack up at certain points. You're like
Hmm.
and go what, and then God, what happens after that? Um,
Well, there's one thing that's very funny that I really wish was on screen, and something that I hate that we didn't get on screen. But we get a mention that one of the bigger worms has been taken off world, and they're going
mm,
to create spice in another planet. And they just
right.
sort of drop that. They're like, "Yeah, we did that. Cool." And I'm like, "Can we please get that on screen? Can we get more with that?"
Yeah, that was
Like,
like I barely noticed that. Yeah, now that you say it, it's like oh shit, that is like huge,
because they're gonna try and
big
make
deal.
their own spice because Paul has such a stranglehold on the sort of the distribution and flow of that like commodity.
Damn, that's a huge deal. And then I think like wasn't like Aaliyah like one of her things towards the end, like we got to put a stop to this,
Mm-hmm.
or is that like one of her little missions here? Because that's yeah, that's a big deal. That totally like because they have like a monopoly on that right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Even more than the Harkonnens did.
Yeah, yeah, and the so okay, so Chani, and then yeah, then at this point, so Chani's dead, and it finally sets down on Paul. Like it finally hits him, and like throughout all this, he's like some prescient, almost he's going through it like he's almost laughing at the situation out of like madness. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's seen it so many times to where he's like, okay, yeah, whatever, and then he's like
Mm-hmm.
this weird vibe to him, you know, like really kind of
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable, like and then it finally hits him, and he's like, oh Jesus Christ, Chani's dead, and it's like that's his whole reason for living, and
Mm-hmm.
and at this point he doesn't want to live, he doesn't want to continue, and he sees that like the best possible outcome here is that yes, he could continue on and convince the Fremen to like let him live, and convince a good number of them, a majority of them, to keep following his orders, and kind of like just force this. But he decides to do like the most honorable possible thing that he could do, and walk out into the desert to his apparent demise. As far as I know, because as far as I've read, this is the end of Paul Atreides. This is his death, and he accepts it after all this. And strategically, this makes a lot of sense too, because then he's kind of like setting the stage for his kids, where Paul Muad'Dib is this honorable leader who was a Fremen to the end. He makes the Fremen choice at his end, and so that must mean that his children are also honorary Fremen, and so it puts them into a good position. And I don't know, what do you think of all that? What do you think of that? It's a big moment there. Like,
Yeah, I really love that reading because I did not think he was dead at all at the end of this book. And I was sort of like, I mean, the way that you talked about was like really beautiful actually, because you haven't read Beyond, so you don't really know like what comes after this. But like from your perspective, I was kind of like,
shit,
yeah, this
okay,
is like a really great ending, like to Paul. Like this is really great because
yeah,
it does. He is setting up for his kids, and I've already said that the next book is mostly about them, so it's not really about Paul. Book three, which I think that's why everyone keeps saying like after book one, like you don't need to read it, and like some people are like, well, no, actually, you got to read book two, and
oh yeah,
I'm like, yeah, but it's like you got to keep going. Like this is all great, like. And book three, like the kids are like really, really interesting, and they are honorable Fremen, or yeah, or the adopted Fremen, whatever the phrasing you used. Yeah,
yeah. They're like they're at least seen as Fremen. They're not seen as like outsiders.
yeah.
They're not like people like encroaching uh, their culture.
Yeah, they've sort of assimilated a little bit, like, because he does make the Fremen choice, and that's something that, like, I remember when I finished it the first time, I was like, I just assume he's like going to go meet Shai Hulud and maybe get eaten, is
Yeah,
sort of what the my thinking was. So I'm very excited to see what your reactions to book three are.
yeah. Now that you say that, I mean, I've got some theories if that's not directly where it goes, but like still, I can't see what the alternative would be, and so that's
Mm-hmm.
it's. I'm still like surprised either way. So like, um, yeah, is he going to be like a Force ghost? Is he going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi or like Yoda
That'll be
or
the
whatever
third
here?
parallel George Lucas took.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, so many, and
Mm-hmm.
it's all happening on a desert planet, and
Oh
uh,
yeah. Well, they there was something else in this book that was like really fun. Um, I think they talk about how the worms are like more regularly like swimming up to the wall, the shield wall, like right
hmm,
outside Arakeen, which is where the big like palace is that Paul is ruling out of. And like that's a really like interesting thing that keeps happening. And they don't really expand upon that, but they make I think Arilon makes a mention of that, or one of the Fremen. They talk about how like they keep running into like
hmm.
sort of smaller worms like coming to the wall and stuff like that. And I would like, and my thinking with that, because I only noticed that on this read, is that like this sort of connected to Paul now through Shai Hulud, maybe on a deeper
Nice.
level, like maybe because I mean they create spice, so they have some sort of prescience. They're not intelligent worms. I mean they don't talk to Paul or anything like that, but like they must know that Paul is really important, and maybe they're trying to avoid or prevent the end of the book and have him come out or something. I don't know. What's your thoughts on this?
Gosh, I didn't even like. That's like another one of those like it's this book is so efficient. They like pepper you with stuff like that, and I didn't even pick up on the fact that like the worms were coming closer. Like, gosh, I like ever since you brought that up, I've just been kind of like pondering like, what does that mean? Like sure that has to have like it's some big implication, but like what the heck does that mean? Like maybe my mind goes to like the changing in Fremen culture. Maybe like that's some like the Shai-Hulud are reacting to that in some way. But that's God, that's the only thing I can think of. Makes me want to read Children of Dune more for sure. Man, I was gonna put that off for a little while. I was gonna like oh, I'll get back to it or whatever. But now I'm like, ooh, I gotta get back to that quick. I gotta get right back to the series because no, it feels like it's deeply connected to Dune Messiah, and I'm missing out if I don't check it out.
Yeah, because one thing that's really cool about book 3 is that Brian Herbert did say it's like a bridging novel. So like these are a lot of setups that is happening in book 2. And I would love to kind of see what your theories are on how Fremen culture, will it continue to change or is it going to stagnate here now that Paul has sort of taken the Fremen way out and they're kind of like, okay, maybe we shouldn't change as much, or is the change going on that they can't stop? And what does that look like, I guess?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, gosh, I'm excited. And Dune, does Children of Dune, is it mainly taking place on Arrakis, or is it like like do you get some more of the planets happening too though, or like is it more?
I think there is some. It's mostly Arrakis, but I think there is some Kaladin stuff
Cool.
in book 2 or 3. So
Yeah, Caladan. Yeah, I'm excited to see Caladan again and kind of see, because what I'm curious about is like you were saying, we skipped that whole 12-year gap there, like where the what's it called, the Holy War is happening, and the I'm curious about like the effect of like the Fremen like outreach on the rest of the galaxy, what that is like where, how is this impacting everyone else? Because we only see it like in this very like narrow scope and this very narrow view of like this is where things are happening, like right at the seat of power there. But like how is this rippling out? Like they talk a little bit about like how like Paul is like frustratedly recounting like how people bring up my name in every possible occasion. Like people who buy a new ship or whatever, they like bless it in my name, and people who throw a coin into a fountain to make a wish, they wish it in my name, and like all these things where he's like pretty much saying like it's all my faults, like he's once again trying to like establish to Stilgar and Chani that like he's the one at fault here, and this is, once again, it's been purposeful. He did that on purpose, and that was to keep worse things from happening, because it was said even in the first book that there is no like good choice he can make here, and he keeps trying to like prolong things and subvert things for as long as he can, but like in doing that, billions and billions of people have died. Like the whole like Hitler and Genghis Khan thing. He's like, he says like, oh yeah, Hitler, he was an emperor. He calls him an emperor, who is responsible for 6 million deaths, and he's like, those were good numbers for then. And like he's talking about like, he's like, oh yeah, that's okay. It's okay for Earth time, and then he compares it to like billions of people that he killed, and like Stilgar and all the other people are thinking like, oh yeah, but you're way greater than him, kind of a thing. He's trying to get across like, look how terrible I am. Like see how bad Hitler is. Now like divide my numbers by his numbers, and then you'll see like just how many times worse I am than Hitler. And for the reader, it's like super clear. And it's also cool that like Paul is conscientious enough to like want to look back in history and find things that are like to like thoroughly understand his sins, to thoroughly understand his flaws. And it's there are some weird moments in this book too, like with Aaliyah. there is this side plot that, thank God, doesn't come to fruition, where there's like this where like the Mother Mohiam is thinking like of trying to like hook Paul and Aaliyah up to have like an heir. Super weird. But there's like always these like little like breadcrumbs kind of dropped that like this might happen. And throughout the reading, I was like, oh God, please don't happen. and thankfully, no, I don't have to worry about that along with everything else. But
maybe if George R. R. Martin wrote it.
Yep. That would have been like the first chapter.
Yeah. It opens with them both.
Skip 12 years just for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really funny too, because that's like a common thing like in history. So of course, Mother Mohiam is like, yeah, just do this.
Totally.
Like, we're gonna try to do this. Like, this is a precedent that's been set for thousands of years.
Yeah.
And I think she even says that, like, there were like rulers in the past, like, who always to maintain their control and stuff like that.
For sure. And it's interesting because like in this far future here, you have so many pieces of the past that you can draw from. So many things that might work or not work or whatever, but like the fact that they might choose this, what does this say about their current culture? What does this say about their current society? And once again, it would be like a non-Fremen thing to do, though, and that's and I think that's like the locally important thing. Like to us, ethically, we see that as like, okay, that's disgusting, that's awful, but even to the Fremen culture, it's like that's not what they do, and so that would be just another way to rip Paul down from his throne, and there is that weird scene where. Like once again, I think this is another one that's misinterpreted though. So we're gonna go into this, even though it's kind of uncomfortable. So Aaliyah, I'm down. she like, it's a weird chapter. Okay, so it starts off, she decides to take a bath, and Aaliyah, she like is like frustrated because she's like attracted to the Gola. She's attracted to Hate / Duncan, and she doesn't know why. Even though like once again, Duncan, he was like at least in his 30s in the first book, right? And then Aaliyah is like 17 or something in it, 16. And
I think she was 14 because she was 2 years. No, she was like because she was 5 years old when she killed Baron Harkonnen, if I recall, or 4 years old, and it's a 12-year gap. So she's like 16, 17. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, still too young.
Yeah.
And
hey, Jason Momoa, man. I mean, I go for him.
But hey, there was when Frank Herbert was writing this, there was no Jason Momoa, and he was probably thinking, I don't know, what was the actor? It'd probably be something terrible, but the
Charlton Heston, I don't know. Planet of the Apes. Hey, that's another desert thing.
Dude, it's space is like littered with these things. Damn. So she's taking a bath, and she's like, she has this like pent up energy, and she doesn't know what to do with it. And so instead of like, getting rid of it in the usual ways, she decides, you know what, I'm gonna go fight a training robot nude. And so she gets up out of the bath, goes to the training room, which is right next to the bath apparently, and starts fighting this training robot that has like these like challenge levels that keep rising. Like 1 light means easy, 2 lights mean medium, 3 lights mean hard, and then it goes up more and more, and she gets to like 12 lights, and like you're hearing it that like no one's ever gone beyond like 13 lights, and then so she like
7 lights or something.
I have the numbers totally off. Like,
it's not important.
Sounds better. It's anyway. She's like breaking the high score. She's like got the freaking world record here. And she's like passing it more and more. And this thing's a terrible training robot. This is like I don't know why you designed something like this, but it can kill you. And she's like risking her life doing this stuff because like that's the only way she can get rid of this pent up energy is like, so she's like just nude, throwing this blade around, just like spinning around and stuff and stabbing this thing and going up another level. And then suddenly Paul and sees her doing this with Stilgar. There's like just a bunch of people walk in and and this is just unfolding. And then she ends this training simulation and passed up Paul by quite a bit, or like by a little bit. Like Paul has like second place or whatever. And and then he has like this internal like monologue where he's like thinking like he notices like he's seeing her nude, and he notices this, and he recognizes like, oh, she's a woman now. And I think that the way he describes this can be misinterpreted. It seems like he's kind of being like if you like really simplify it, it's like creepy, but it's also like he notices this, and then he notices like his own noticing of this, and then critiques that, and then is like kind of agrees with Stilgar that like Stilgar's initial thing he says, he's like, she needs a husband. like
Yeah.
like
yeah, a lot of energy.
yeah like look at her, she's a woman now, she needs a husband, like. And that was sort of like a similar thing that Paul, I think, came to in his own internal like monologue. But I think that a lot of people read that and think that like, oh, he's being a creep, he's attracted to his own sister, and I don't see that.
Yeah, I never read it that way.
Yeah, I've seen people bring that up several times, and I do not see that at all. I think that there's supposed to be a danger of that. I think that the reader is supposed to be like worried about that, like oh my god, is this like thing going to come to fruition? Is Mohiam's manipulation happening here? And it's supposed to be like this kind of red herring that's supposed to throw you off a little bit. And that makes the overall tragedy at the end hit that much harder, because you think like you're kind of preparing yourself in this way or building up a shield for this, but then like Chani dies, and Paul apparently dies, goes off into the desert, loses his eyes, he's permanently disfigured at the very least. Yeah, it's such a beautiful tragedy. It really is. And it's so funny too, though, at the same time. Like when you look at that same scene through the eyes of like humor, it's like you have this like naked girl jumping around fighting a robot for some reason. And
yeah,
like, how the hell did we get here? Like,
yeah, they're not doing that in the movie.
no, that ain't happening. That ain't happening.
Unless one thing that's fun about the scene too is that it's a nice callback to when Paul was doing that machine too. And we have Gurney Halleck walk in and be like, what are you doing? Like, you should never, assume, off of footsteps, who people are, because anyone can, copy my, footsteps, which I feel like is a nice little foreshadowing to the Golo.
Yeah.
It makes me think that, like, Frank Herbert was thinking about doing Golas in book one and was kind of like, I'll just put this line in.
I love that.
So.
Oh, it's such a great, that is such a great insight. Damn. Yeah. Cause like, he's like, don't assume that they are who you expect. And that's a Gola right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Damn. I really, really like that ties everything together. He certainly 100% was planning this book. I don't care what.
Well, he outlined the first 3 books, I recall, before writing book 1, he said.
Yeah. That's what happened. That's what happened. And I don't know why Denis Villeneuve. I don't know why he's saying the opposite here. It's so odd. I don't get it. It's man.
Yeah, because Sci-Fi Channel even did a adaptation of Children of Dune back in the 1990s or 2000s. I haven't watched it. I should, but I heard it's like really good. Like, it's very low budget. I mean, Sci-Fi Channel in the 90s, 2000s. I mean, same era as, Farscape and like shit like that. But
it's got its charm to it.
Yeah, but they tried. Like, they at least put scripts together. They paid for it. Like, and Denis is like, nope, I don't want to touch that shit. And I'm like, no, please. Like, it's the end of the trilogy that Frank had planned. Like, and it's like not doing Return of the King. That, in my eyes,
that's so weird. Yeah, because I agree. It's like he's trying to. I feel like he got this like error of a reading from this. Like, I feel like that he misinterpreted it, and he's going based off that error to like convey like the wrong message here. It's simplifying it. It's oversimplifying it. Just like how with the Water of Life in the second movie, how that happened in like split second. Like Paul was like, he just like zooms on down to the southern desert and was it drowns the thing, drinks the water of life, has a quick trippy moment, and then like less than like 30 seconds of screen time later, he's had the most important transformative thing in like the whole book. And it just it was a big disappointment there. I feel like that like is like the microcosm of the flaws that we're seeing with this adaptation. And
Yeah. It's
yeah,
only rippling out from here, I feel like.
Oh yeah, it's just rippling out like where you have like little issues like that, and then with Chani, with her running off, like
Yeah.
that really made her seem like less intelligent than she is. Like it made her less capable than she actually. She's a very capable, intelligent character. She's an awesome female character. Like you were talking about like Dracula in your Dracula review, how like oh, they're just like seen as like objects. They're just plot devices who are just in like damsels in distress, right? Chani's not that. Chani's not that, and she was never in danger of being that. And I feel like just he was like overcorrecting with that, like trying to like fix something that wasn't broken, and it made her into like a less sophisticated character, which is a shame because she's awesome. She's so awesome. She's so like, she has such a strong will. She's so compassionate. Her love for Paul is something that like is just so three-dimensional. Like, and the fact that she's like purposefully, like how the hell are they going to sidestep this and make it to where like she's trying to tell Paul to just have a kid with Prince Irulan. Like she wants Paul to do that because she wants Paul to have an heir, and she doesn't care if it's from her. She's like, yes, it would hurt, but this is our way. This is the Fremen way. Just do what you got to do. I won't take it personally, kind of a thing. And then Paul's like, no, I love you, and I can't do that to you. I promised you that you would be my wife. And then it just, it's such a shame because this is such a beautiful tragedy, and now it's like all these like important ingredients are just like completely corrupted. And
there's a lot of like modern sensibility type of things, like thrown into there, because it's like when you read the books, especially in book 2, like Irulan, well, not Irulan, but Chani and Paul, they see eye to eye about everything. They love each other a lot. The first scene with them in this book is them in bed together, talking about the events of the last 12 years. And they see eye to eye about it. She is really worried about him. She cares about him and all this stuff. And she's like, oh, you love Irulan now? Bye. Like in the movie. And I'm like, why? Like, we don't need that.
Yeah.
Like, you're just putting in, like, you're just making, like...
It's cringy. Like,
it's like cringy, but also like problematic, like representation. Pitting two powerful women together who are not being pitted against each other. Being pitted against each other in the Dune Messiah time period, but not in Dune Book 1 period.
No.
Because they all know, like, who loves who and all that.
Yeah, like Chani wins there. She is like she's uncomfortable about it in some ways for sure. But their relationship, like remaining strong there, is like if Paul, the other issue too is the family atomics, right? They use atomic weapons in the second movie, right? Like,
I think they use it to blow the wall up, and that's when the like 4 worms or something comes in and goes over the shield wall or something like that. Yeah,
so they totally like broke that rule, and so now all the other houses are welcome to use those and destroy Paul, which they could do like really easily.
That's what the end of this book was about. Was a mini nuke, basically, because they were like, we don't have nukes, like no one will use them. The Chom don't even have them anymore. Like,
it's so flawed. Like so many of these important plot devices were just like totally mismanaged. And for purposes, like I think that they probably like really put a lot of thought into this, but I think that it like really like simplified and kind of like it really should have been like a mini series or something like that.
Yeah.
Like each book, like another season or something. And just give it some more breathing room. Do what you got to do. But yeah, I'm definitely like disappointed in that. Not to say that I'm not interested in seeing the movie. I'm gonna watch the film.
Yeah,
And I
same.
want to.
I'm not boycotting it. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I'm not that petty,
boycotting it.
but
No, no. I think it's cool that it's getting representation still. It's like, I mean, it's great sci-fi work, deserves to be on screen, right?
Mhm.
But I guess I hope that in the future we get another one, and
Yeah.
and we get one that's like super direct, like it's just exactly what occurs, because I don't know, it deserves to be seen for what it is.
if someone does that, I think it'd be so fucking funny. I would hate it, but it'd be so fucking funny if someone made an AI version of it. Because the entire
Yeah.
theme of the series is that AI
Yeah.
led to humanity like abandoning computers.
Yeah, they're like, it did not lead to good roads, right?
Yeah.
Or good destination.
Yeah, the thanking machines, like we don't need them.
No.
Like this is why we don't even use guns nowadays. Like we just do the
Right.
slow mo, like stabbing. And that's one thing I really did not like about the second movie with Chani, because I mean Chani is such an important character. I mean, this is her book feels like at times, and
Yes.
like they really made her like angry at Paul like the entire book. Like, and in book one or movie one, we have some flashbacks of her being loving towards him, and we should have had a lot more of that. And I love the idea of it being a TV show, like 10 hours,
Yeah.
like Golden
Nice,
Age
yeah.
HBO, where it was 10 hours a season, not the 6.5 hour, 8 episode shit that we have now that I
Yeah.
rebel against. But I would
I mean,
really
like,
love to see a TV show adaptation if it has to be anime, sure, but. I mean, I think this
Yeah.
is some of the best. Like, I think our effects are good enough now, with like technology and CGI and the blending of practical and CGI. Like, I think it's at a level now, and it obviously is because the movies are awesome visually.
Yeah.
Like, we just need to
Spectacles.
change the writing. That's all we need to do.
I agree. I 100% agree. I 100% agree with that. Um, and I'm happy to have read this too. And like anyone who, for whatever reason, has listened to all this and hasn't read Dune Messiah, still read it. It's still great, even if now you know everything that happens in it. Like, like we can't really like tell you just how great it is. Like, let me see. I
It's not
think
even just the story. Like as I said earlier in the video, like his writing is some of the best, like in the genre. Like his prose is really well done. Like sure you may know the story. I mean a lot of the Dune series was spoiled for me before reading book 2 and 3 and then 4. Like there was even spoilers I got on book 4, but like it is such a well written series. So even if you know everything, like I was thinking about not rereading book 3 for our discussion on book 3, but then I realized I was like it's not like a Stormlight Archive book was 1,400 pages. It's like
right.
500 pages and it's 9 out of 10 is like what my
Mm,
rating was. Like it's a
mm,
really fantastic, and I can read that in like a few days. So now I'm like I should
yeah.
definitely reread it. Like, and whenever you start it, like let me know so I can get
Oh, for
started
sure.
too.
Yeah, no, let's do the next one for sure. I think that's a great idea. And then whenever that movie comes out too, we can
Yeah.
we can just blast it for an hour or whatever.
Yeah, because like even like because as we said, like we're still gonna watch the movie. I
Yeah.
find talking and analyzing so fun. Like I love that.
Yes.
Like this is what I was doing at my old job before I got laid off. Like I would go to lunch with my friends like at work, and we would talk about the Dune movies. And my friend, he's probably
Yeah.
gonna watch this now, so hi JD. But like he, like he hasn't read the books, so he was asking me a lot of like about the books and kind of like yeah, you know, like the Chani stuff, like that was totally different from the '80s adaptation. Because Chani's
Hmm.
awesome in the '80s adaptation. Have you seen that yet, by the way?
No, I've got to. I've got to.
Yeah.
I haven't been watching much stuff. I've been watching this show called Mr. In Between lately. It's
Ah,
really good. It's like
I've
this
heard of it.
Australian show, and it's pretty badass. I'm really surprised by it. So
Yeah.
just shouting that out randomly.
Cool. Yeah, but like, yeah, like the '80s adaptation is Frank Herbert approved. He did visit the set. He met the actors and all that. There's pictures of it. It's really cool. And like he said, like this was the best like thing he could have hoped for adaptation wise. I mean, it's very, very slow. A ton of voiceover. But like aside from that, it's great. Like Alia's amazing in it, and she kills Baron Harkonnen in it. Like they don't change much. I mean,
Yeah.
David Lynch never read the book either. He asked, I think it was Angelo Badalamenti, who does a lot of the music for like Twin Peaks
Mm.
and all his other movies.
Mm.
He asked him like, "Can you just send me a outline of the story, like, and I'll do it." So visually, there's some very different things than from the book, but story wise, it's basically the same. So,
Damn.
which is
Yeah,
great.
I gotta see it. I pulled up some clips. Like I did after finishing the first book. I watched like the ending scene,
Mm-hmm.
like where Paul becomes the emperor and stuff, and that was pretty cool. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
cool seeing just how direct that was, and you can forgive the effects at the time too. It's like that
Yeah.
doesn't stuff doesn't bug me. But it's yeah, I gotta give that a watch. Maybe like this week or something. I'll give it a watch because it's I've put that off for too long for sure. Damn. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's this was a great book though. Like I really can't understate how good it is. Like just the actual writing. Like Frank Herbert became a much better writer in the time between these two books, and like it's just so gorgeous. It really is. Like prose, everything.
Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited to reread book three because this was a totally different experience rereading this. Like for me, I didn't think it'd be that different. 'Cause I've only read it like a year ago before part two came out, and because I was curious, like, oh, are there going to be any setups to book two events? And no, obviously we've talked about it. You know, Chani leaving and everything else that happened. But like rereading book three, I read that earlier this year, maybe late last year. I can't even remember when I read it, but like I feel like I'm going to get a whole lot more like appreciation out of it. And I already love the book. And you mentioned earlier that there was a funny point that you a funny story beat that you forgot because one of the biggest story beats in book three I completely overlooked and just did not realize happened. And I can't wait to tell you about that because you're gonna be shocked at how like bad my reading was, like to have missed that.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally see how like those he it's like jam packed full of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the first Dune book had like so many things happen. I had to like with this one too. I had to like go back and look at certain passages, watch some other reviews to kind of like refresh a little bit and uh, and just get like a good idea of like kind of the flow of the story. Because like sometimes like when you're in it, like it is easy to like miss certain things because like you're like in like the mode of like appreciating it. You're in the mode of like consuming this novel, and it's this did have me go back. Like it's a short book. It's a short book, and I did fly through it pretty quickly too. Um, but I was like having to go back a lot and like go like, okay, what the hell happened on this last page or whatever. And just like rereading a paragraph a few times before I'm like really realizing exactly what just happened. Like Chani's death specifically was so quick, so fast, and so uh like he doesn't have to overstate things to make them important. You know, like they're important just because they're important. And
Mm-hmm.
I think
It's not
that's
this big emotional scene,
yeah.
40 lines of dialogue like Johnny, I love you. I can't believe this. Like we don't get any of that shit. It's
No,
just like
Paul's not
bam.
even there. He's like not even
Yeah.
there. Like he's like in the other room,
Mm-hmm.
like playing on his phone. Like he's like
Yeah. He's playing Candy Crush, man.
he hears her. She's like Paul, and like he hears her as she dies,
Mm-hmm.
screaming his name, and he's just like looking out into the desert, like, so what'd you guys do this weekend?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, man, yeah, there is some like stuff about Paul. It's like he's not a hero, but he's not a
Mm-hmm.
villain. He's an
No.
anti-hero. He's straight up anti-hero, and
Mm-hmm.
like in the best sense. Like he's not like half anti-hero, half hero. He's like 100% right through the middle, and so cool. Like yeah, such a cool book here.
Yeah, it makes me nervous talking about this specifically about the adaptation because as we've seen and we've talked about, like, Denis has a certain interpretation. And I feel like it's just going to keep, as I said earlier, it's just going to keep rippling out. And especially with Paul, because this is something that I didn't get on my first read, as I said earlier, but like for the movies, for people who don't read the books and who will probably never read the books, like I don't want them to experience a story with a very skewed perspective and be like, oh yeah, that Frank Herbert is a piece of shit because, this, that, and the other, and had, Chani and Irulan, being petty towards each other and all this stuff. And oh my gosh, like, are we going to get a scene or a montage in the beginning of the 12 years where Paul is going to be, George Washington crossing the river painting, with Fremen behind him, like, come on guys, let's kill them. Like, are we going to get that? It's a real question that I have. I hope not. But like,
yeah,
there's been a lot of misinterpretations so far. So it makes me think we are going to get that kind of montage in the beginning. We kind of got the montage in the book 1 where they talk about like, oh, far future, there's going to be a lot of death. And we see like some piles of corpses. We see a lot of like big columns of fire, but like, that's it. That's all we see.
Yeah. And like the first movie, I remember those like flash forwards where it's like, looked like almost like Power Rangers or whatever fighting each other and shit. Like,
yeah, I didn't like the costumes.
yeah. It was like, yeah, it was a little odd, but I mean, it was like you could see like it was a holy war happening, but it was just that I feel like we are going to get a little bit of a montage at the beginning. I think that's a good call. Like I think like 9 out of 10 that's going to be happening. Like some sort of montage. Hopefully they get it right, but
yeah,
I doubt it.
It'd be fun to see, because I remember that after reading this for the first time, I was like, how would I do the movie? And I would say I would do the first half like being the 12-year gap or whatever. And then the second half, because the story goes really quickly outside of the dialogue scenes, because a lot of this book is dialogue between all the different factions and all the different people. And we have this, like, it's amazing. I love it. But like for the movie, that's not going to be as watchable, because we saw how much dialogue they cut from the first 2 movies, which is fine. It's an adaptation. But, like, I would love to see the 12 years in the movie, at least for the first half. I doubt they're doing a part 1, part 2 for Dune Messiah, but that would be nice.
Oh, for sure. I would have liked to see, like, just a full movie of that 12-year gap, because, like, there you have all the artistic freedom you have to, like, even though it like diverted a little bit in the first 2, you make all these different decisions to get the pieces all back together to be right where you need to be for Messiah. I think that's what they needed to do, but ain't gonna happen. It's unfortunate, because it also means like you'd think they'd want to prolong these like big IPs to like make as much money, as many movies as they can, but it feels like they're rushing through it. Like they just want to like get to the end, and it's a little frustrating, but I don't know.
That's what makes me so mad about like Denis specifically, because he's a great director. I love Arrival. That's like one of my favorite movies. I think he did Arrival, but like that's a sci-fi movie about aliens, and they have to.
I've heard about that one.
Yeah, they hire a linguistics like professor to figure out how to communicate with the aliens, and there's this huge epic like romance like storyline going on, a parentship story, and like it's really great. Like he's a great director. But like as you said, they're rushing through it, and I want to see like books 5 and 6. I give or take, whatever. I don't care about them, but like I would love to see adaptations of them, because there's still a lot of cool like things going on, story stuff that would work really well on TV, on the movie screen, and like I definitely want to see book 4 like as an adaptation. Like I can't even hint towards that book because it's so different than the other ones, but like I just love like I love the deliberateness like of some movies, like Lord of the Rings. Like there's a lot of content in those books, but what Peter Jackson did with that, making a 12-hour trilogy, which they should have done for this trilogy of books, is 12 hours for up to Children of Dune, but whatever, that's what I would have done. I would have really have loved to have seen like more deliberate pace. Because movie 2 feels way too fast, as we've said ad
Yeah.
nauseum. But like,
Yeah. Yeah. I think that God, could you imagine a Peter Jackson Dune? I'm sure he's read it. I'm
if
100%
Lord of the
certain
Rings
he's read it.
failed, or like he couldn't get it like done, he done Dune instead. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah. Man.
Wow, that I'm gonna be thinking about that a while. Thinking about Peter Jackson doing Dune. That'd be awesome because like
He
he's
still could.
very practical focused. Like he loves practical effects. They spent 3 years just creating all the costumes and props and stuff for Lord of the Rings before they even like set foot on the set. Like that's how awesome like
You
it
know that
was.
meme? The Did you know Viggo Mortensen actually broke his
Yeah.
toe?
Did you know that was a real knife that lets through and he hit with the sword? Like that was real.
Oh yeah.
That's been proven false. It was a rubber sword, but
Oh really?
yeah,
Okay.
like they said it on the commentary track, but it's still impressive that he even fucking hit that. So
Oh yeah.
people say, "Oh, it wasn't a real sword." I'm like, no, it's still. He hit something physical, like that wasn't CGI, so and that was cool.
Yeah.
So
Super hurt. Damn. Well, yeah. I think that's covered a good portion of this book, right? I think giving people a good idea of why the book rocks and why they got to reread it.
yeah, yeah, because as I said, I totally missed Chani dying. That was a shock to me when I was scolded by a friend of mine for missing that. But are there any last like thoughts on like sort of where you think book 3 is gonna go, like before we finish,
I've just
or
in
anything
like
you
looking
want maybe?
yeah, like I want I mean I want his kids to be like good people. I want them to be as honorable as Paul. But I'm kind of worried that it'll be sort of like a Marcus Aurelius sort of thing, like where
Ooh.
like his I remember like his son was like a terrible emperor, like after them having like Aurelius, who was such an awesome guy, conscientious, so like had sort of self control. So I almost see like them not being like a shadow of Paul, but like only like in a visual way, like only in like a surface level, like. But I'm hoping they're awesome people. I really want them to be awesome people, but I feel like I'm going to be disappointed. But not in like I'm disappointed with the story way, but like Herbert's going to purposefully be disappointing me, kind of.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say if they're good or bad, but I loved reading about them. I'll say that. So I love
Awesome.
book 3. I'm definitely wanting to reread it now, like before we talk about it. I wasn't thinking about it because it hasn't even been a year, and usually I take about 2 or 3 years before doing a reread. Outside of Lord of the Rings, I do that
Yeah.
every year. But like, I just love like what Frank is doing with this series so much. And every time I reread the book, like I've read the first book like 3 times, I think, twice on physical and once on audio, I think, because the audiobook's free on Audible. So shout out
Ooh.
for Audible. Not many reasons to shout them out ever, but on
Yeah.
that, yes. But like every time I reread any of the books, like it just makes me appreciate it even more. Like it's not a series like I mean I'm not gonna give examples, but some series get worse the more you reread it because you start seeing the holes, you start seeing the plot contrivances, and as you said, like everything feels so natural in the story progression that Frank is doing. Like it all makes sense. It's all very deliberate and just awesome. Like it's just awesome. I just love Dune. Like
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I'm so happy to be taking this journey. I mean, it's like something I put off for a while because, like I said, I'm a contrarian in many ways. Like naturally, like I just want to, like if something's very popular, I want to hate it almost. Like not necessarily. I mean, that's extreme, but I mean, I was expecting to not like it as much as I did. I was totally wrong about it, and I'm so happy to have been so wrong about it. It's one of my favorite books at this point now. It's so good. Hell yeah.
Happy to hear that. I also really enjoy like talking to people about the series, like because everyone has a different like interpretation, as we've hammered over and over. Like we have,
Totally.
Denis' interpretation, we have David Lynch's, we have like ours. Like it's so great like to talk to everyone,
Oh
because
yeah,
everyone is from different walks of life, and we all like discover something new with these books when we talk to each other. And like
yeah,
there's no other reason to read books than to continue learning and to continue like getting more out of things. Like I've always said, like it's a dull world to become stagnant. So
yeah.
I'm always trying to learn and read more books and just get more perspectives. And yeah, that's my
Well
little
said.
like
Yeah,
thing
well said.
speech. But
And in that realm, I think that leave a comment down below and let us know your thoughts on this book. Tell us how wrong we are, or tell
yeah.
us how much you agree with us. I want to hear it. I want to get everyone's perspective on this, 'cause I know this is a controversial book, and for good reasons. And yeah, it's been awesome talking to you about this, Christian.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, it's been a blast just getting because I have a more thorough understanding of all this, like just based on these conversations. And yeah, it helps me to understand and digest all this information. And it's yeah, it's a lot of fun. Can't wait to get to Children of Dune. I'm gonna, that one's kind of flown up the TBR at this point now, so I gotta get right into it.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. And I was thinking, this will be my last point, but I was thinking when we finish, or when you finish the 6 books, I'm not gonna reread book 5 and 6. I have no interest, unless like I get convinced, like in this video, to reread Children of Dune. But like, I can't wait to, or we'll have to do like a ranking video where like I pull up the tier maker, and we like do our own kind of, or we do yours, and then I don't know how we'll do that, but I think that'd be really fun to like do a tier video.
Screen share or something like that. Yeah, it sounds like a great idea. Yeah, put together a tier list and see how like how they compare and contrast too. Like that'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, as I've told you many times, I'm the only one who loves book 4. So I know that'll be a big difference. And book 2 has flown up, actually. I think I still like book 3 more, though. So
I'm so excited. Yeah. If it's better than this one, I mean, I'm in for a treat. I'm excited here.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for watching. This has just been an absolute joy. This is what it's all about. This is why I do YouTube, is for this kind of discussions. It's so fun. And please leave a comment below. Like, this is like, there's so many things we can get from these books. And I love to hear from people about books. So that's my final thing. But thank you again, everyone. And please have a great rest of the day.
Thank you so much for watching. See ya.